Hi, we're glad you're here, and we're about to begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. KenCast After Dark. Stimulating conversations all night long. And here's your host, Ken Cole.
Woo. Wow. Hey, everyone. How's it going? It has been a crazy weekend. We're a few minutes late here just because I am just running to the stream to be with you all. We're going to have a great night of conversation. There's a lot going on. And, in order to have this conversation, I am going to bring on a very special guest. You all know him very well. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the Cobra Kai kid, Drew. Hey, Drew, are you there, buddy? Drew, we got some Cobra Kai season 6 news.
What? Wait, whoa. I'm sorry, did you just say we have Cobra Kai season 6 news?
We do. We've got Cobra Kai season 6 news.
Oh my God, what is it?
Big stuff, man. Big stuff. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad you're awake.
I was dreaming that I was in an alternate Cobra Kai universe where Ken Cole went. Actually, it's really weird. It was a really crazy dream. You were on the picket lines and you interviewed Jon Hurwitz, Josh Shield, Hayden Schlossberg, Thomas Ian Griffith, Alicia Hannah-Kim, Mary Page Keller, Sebastian Roche, right? Is this
Roger? Yes.
Roger. In the dream, he was Roche. In the dream. Crazy dream, right?
That's a crazy dream, Drew, because it came true. Yeah, that happened. And that's what we're going to talk about today. That's amazing, Drew. You have a talent. You've got some great premonition talent. That's wonderful. First of all, how have you been, Drew? What's been going on with you?
How have I been? I've been good. I have had a very nice week, spending a lot of family time, being with family, doing some work on the channel, taking care of myself. So it's been very good, and I hope everyone out there is taking good care of themselves too, and enjoying this beautiful, as we enter the beautiful summer. We're in summer, right? Technically, this is summer.
Well, it depends. It's meteorologically, you could say yes. Astronomically, no. We've got a month left till like the official start of summer. Technically, we're still in spring.
Okay.
But
so hope everyone's having a good spring.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So
it feels like summer. It's gotten warm.
Yeah. So how are you doing? What's been going on with you?
Man, it has been crazy. There's a lot to talk about. I don't think we can even cover it all tonight. You talked about going down to the Fox Studios lot. It has been a crazy week. Brian Fishback, who has been on KenCast before, people might recognize. I worked with him, and he was covering the LA Jewish Film Festival. I saw Mel Brooks back on Thursday, which is just incredible as a filmmaker. So that was exciting. Might have to get Brian on here to talk about that someday. And then I went down to the Fox Studios lot on Friday. And then yesterday, I went down for the memorial service for Fumio Demura, who is many people call the real Miyagi. He was the inspiration, or one of the inspirations, for the character of Mr. Miyagi. And he recently passed away. And so I went down at the invitation of William Christopher Ford, great friend of this channel, and really maybe not a direct student of Fumio Demura, but definitely a big influence in William's life. So that was really incredible to see. And then, yeah, it's just been working on getting all this together. And there's so many different things we could talk about. But today, Drew, we're going to talk about the news, I think, that everyone wants to know. And we're going to do this, I think, in a new way that we haven't done this before. We're going to just go through all of the interview footage, everything that I posted in the video today. And there's a link to that video down in the description if you want to see it. But I do see Strike First, Cody. Thank you. This is the best video, man. Chef's kiss. Thank you. I appreciate it. A nerd. Oh my gosh, that's you make great content too, nerd. Congratulations on your latest video. Thank you for bringing such important updates. Absolutely.
Doesn't matter if you're a nerd or a loser. All that matters is that you become badass.
That's right. That's right. It's great to see you. There's good to see you, Clifford. Jaws. Hey Ken, you're taking Mary interviews. Amazing. Have a heart attack of happiness. Thank you. Yeah, we'll see it, guys. And I'll just run down here. Hopefully, we've got Jim, Tim, Terry Silver himself. Oh man, missed tonight. Rabana, thanks for being a channel. Batman, thank you. Ruben from Cobra Kai Kids channel. Great to see you. Also, Jay Potter, Relectify. Almost out of high school. Yep.
Yay.
Wow. Javier, great to see you.
Wow, we got a lot of people here. What's up, everybody?
What's going on, everyone? It's wonderful to see you. So, Drew, I wanted to have this discussion with you. We have had kind of a series of discussions about writing. We've talked about writing Cobra Kai season 6, and we're going to be using ChatGPT to see what it can come up with on Tuesday. So if you're watching right now, guys, stay tuned for Tuesday, because that's going to be a lot of fun. But we had been talking about the strike. We'd made a series of videos talking about what's going on with the writer's strike, how it's impacting Cobra Kai season 6. And so, Drew, what I decided to do, and I don't think you can blame me, we had all these questions, all these discussions. I thought we would take our inquiries, our concerns to the head honchos themselves, the big three, John, Josh, and Hayden, and Thomas Ian Griffith, Mary Page Keller, Alicia Hannah-Kim. Met them all in person, talked with them a long time. And so Drew, tell me right now, you haven't seen this yet, right?
Yeah. So you posted this video today, which, as you mentioned, is in the description below. I have not yet watched it, and I purposely didn't watch it because I wanted to react to it live with you. And so for everyone out there, some of you guys have seen my reactions. Fan of the Cobra Kai Kid reactions. Here we go. This is a live Cobra Kai Kid reaction. I don't know what the heck's going to happen here. I do know that you put Hayden Schlossberg last in the video, right?
Yes.
Now, I don't know what he says, but I'm curious because Hayden tends to give away stuff or to tease stuff. So I'm curious if you did that intentionally.
Hey, well, we'll see, won't we? I kind of ask a question jokingly, and I didn't expect that he'd be willing to give stuff away.
I knew it.
You'll have to stay tuned to see if he actually gives it away or not. Or perhaps I stop him, I don't know. It's definitely very early. I want to say, like, everyone there was absolutely amazing. I recorded these amazing interviews, talked with everyone, but I was able to speak with everyone aside from this. Like, I think this is like about 37 minutes long. I was there for probably almost 3 hours. Wow. And, Hayden, Josh and, John, they're just so great to talk to. I think there's a camaraderie with fans of, Cobra Kai, but also the Karate Kid movies. I don't know. We're on a very similar wavelength, I've noticed. And so, it's wonderful talking to them. And in fact, I think I talked to Hayden for an hour just about the Karate Kid Part 3. If that it is legit. Yes, they are all just this isn't just like a job. Like, this is a passion. They love this world. They love these characters. And I think that's that comes through. But we had I do have to say, these are very, very old friends. Al Stavros, thanks for jumping in. And Paula, great to see you. Yes, we are live right now. There you go, Paula. That's great. Now, before we jump into this video, what were your questions? What were the questions we were talking about? What's top of mind for you regarding, like, the strike, the writer's room, Cobra Kai season 6 production? Like, what are those types of questions that you have?
That's a great question itself. Okay, let's see. A lot of questions. In no particular order. I guess one of the questions that I had was, the decision to the whole timing of everything. I guess I was a little confused about. So, starting season 6 on the day of the strike, it was mentioned that the writers went to Atlanta the day before, had to come back. They filmed an episode. They were preparing to film episode 2, but then they shut down. So I guess, why did they go with filming the first episode and then decided to shut down? So the whole schedule, the whole timing. I think another big question that everybody has is, how long is this thing going to go for? I don't know if they know that. I know they want to get back to filming soon, but how long is this strike going to actually go for? And I'm very curious to hear what the actors have to say, what Thomas and Alicia have to say. Thomas is a writer on a show, Virgin River, right?
Yes.
And Alicia is not a writer, but she's in full support of the writers, right? She doesn't do any writing.
Not that I know of. She might be a writer. It's possible, but I think she was there on behalf of SAG, being in solidarity, because, as you know, they've authorized a strike vote in SAG. You've covered that, and so she was there, I think, marching in solidarity with everyone, along with her husband, Sebastian Roche, who is in everything.
I didn't know that was her husband until today, until you.
Yeah, he's incredible as well. So, and he makes kind of a cameo appearance here as well. So,
so cool.
So I don't know, Drew. What do you think? Should we watch some of this?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Okay,
I'm ready. I do want to let everyone know that we are, because a lot of times when we do like breakdowns on the channel, like a lot of people are saying, like, just play the video, just watch the whole thing. We are specifically going to be pausing the video and discussing it, but the full 37 minutes is on Ken's channel. So like, watch his stream, and then I highly recommend, like, just go on his channel, watch the full video in its entirety, but like, we will be pausing it throughout and like talking about it. So I just wanted to give the disclaimer so people don't say like, oh, why are you pausing it? Like, we're here to talk about it,
Absolutely. And you can watch the full video. You can do it right now. If you just want to watch it all the way through and pause this live stream, and when you're done, you just hit resume. We're going to go through and then pause. And so what I'm going to do, Drew, is I'm going to leave it up to you to tell me, just jump in and tell me when you want to pause, or you have something to say, or you have a comment about something, and we'll pause it and we'll talk about it. And then if there's something that I have, like extra context that I can add, I'll do the same thing.
Yeah, definitely jump in because you were there. You were there. You like there might be something. Oh, speaking of that, like, so yeah, you definitely jump in too. Like, we haven't spoken about this. So I am going to really ask you questions. I want to know everything. I'm so excited. This is I do want to say, but first off, before we actually watch the footage, like, I want to give you a big congratulations on this, because this is a serious accomplishment. Like, the fact that, like, you went to this you went to the strike with the writers and the cast, and the fact that they did these interviews with you. Like, you're not just any creator, like you've built like a platform where they like respect you and appreciate your stuff, and that's why like they were like so open to talking to you. And it's just so cool. Like, the reception on it, I already saw the comments, has been very good. So if anyone deserves this, it's you. So congratulations first off on that. Seriously.
Well, Truth, thank you for those kind words. That means a lot. I mean, it means a lot. And to be able to talk to everyone, like, at the picket lines, everyone involved with the show, just being around this talent, this creativity that has given us Cobra Kai, it's just very inspiring. And I mean, the only other thing I can say about that is, sometimes it helps to kiss up to Terry Silver. Sometimes he has connections. This is one of the benefits.
This is what you've been waiting for.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
man. I mean, listen, you did bring I feel like a lot of people didn't know Terry Silver until your videos. So you brought it up before he was even in Cobra Kai. So
Wow, that is very flattering. Thank you, Drew.
yeah,
Thank you. Well, if the world now appreciates Terry even better, then that's great. I've done my job. Done my job. I've earned my paycheck. So, okay, Drew, let's start, and let's let's do it. And guys, jump in with your comment. We'll try to get to as much as possible. Again, we'll be watching this and then pausing and talking about it. So if you've got questions or comments, just jump right in. We have viewers from my channel and we have viewers from Cobra Kai Kids channel together. So this is kind of like an amazing thing technology lets us do now.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
I'm so excited. Like I'm so serious. I feel like I'm about to watch like a new trailer. Like I don't know anything about to happen. We've been like 37 minutes. Like let's do this. I'm like, if you guys see me like smiling, I'm like really excited for this. So
absolutely. Thank you, Rabana. Save Silver. Yes. All right, here we go. Here's the video. Kai Season 6 production has been halted due to the writer's strike. Today, I go to the picket lines at Fox Studios and talk with Cobra Kai creators Jon Hurwitz.
Season 6 is going to be amazing.
Josh Heald.
Anything you love about Cobra Kai is going to be in Season 6.
And Hayden Schlossberg.
Does Terry Silver get out of jail? Do you want me to answer that?
And some incredible actors, including Alicia Hannah-Kim.
About the biggest, baddest season yet.
Mary Page Keller and Thomas Ian Griffith.
As far as Cobra Kai, I'm trying to get some info out of these guys. They're all here.
So stick around because they all had amazing things to share and you won't want to miss it.
Hey everyone, this is Ken Cole coming to you from the Fox studio lot where there's a strike happening, a picket line for the writer's strike. And today we're going to talk to some of the creative writers behind Cobra Kai and some of the cast who are here to support the writers. So let's see what they have to say.
Okay.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I already had a question right off the bat. Why Fox Studios? Because their company's Sony. Is it because they don't want to like strike right outside their own company? Like, do you know why Fox Studios in particular?
You know, that's a really good question. I didn't ask that question. I do know that I think they assign places and times for people to strike. So I know that they've gone to Fox a number of times. I'm not sure why it was Fox. You're right. It's definitely not Sony. So Sony is the, production studio they're behind the production of Cobra Kai. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. If anyone knows the answer, definitely throw it into the comments. And that's maybe a question as the strike goes on. We might be able to ask people. You
got to go back.
Yeah, we got to go back.
We got to make a list of questions, and then you go back. You're like, listen, we missed just a few more questions.
That's right. Absolutely. And I just want to thank you, Nerd. Really appreciate it. And Cobra Kai Nation, thanks for joining us, Shamoon. Really appreciate it. Okay. So one thing I wanted to add here is that as you've seen the pictures, Thomas Ian Griffith posted a picture. I will say that picture may or may not have been taken by yours truly. Of everyone. But if you look at that picture, you can see everyone involved, so many people part of the writer's room that were there. So, I got to meet Luan Thomas, Joe, Olga, Matea, Chris Rafferty, who's brand new. And I'm trying, please forgive me if I'm forgetting someone, but like, a lot of the writers were there as well. But, I kind of, I don't know if they were as interested in being interviewed on this day. So that's why, you don't see an interview with them, but they're absolutely amazing. And, it's a tough time. It's a writer's strike, they're not able to do their work. But everyone was in really good spirits, and there were pretzels that were provided by John, Josh, and Hayden, and I'll add this partially by Robert Mark Kamen. He helped pay for him, so that was really cool.
Oh my god! Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yes, very cool. So okay, let's continue. We'll get into the. All right, so we're gonna first up is Jon Hurwitz. You ready?
Yeah.
Nice.
With me is Jon Hurwitz, one of the co-creators of Cobra Kai. It's an honor to be here. And Jon, so I know a lot of fans are wondering what's going on. Like, what is the strike? You know, why are writers striking right now? And what would you say to fans?
First of all, I would say to fans, thank you for your love and support of Cobra Kai. We love this show as much as you do. We're eager to get back to it, and season 6 is going to be amazing. We hate to have have a little break from it right now. It's not just about us, it's about the industry as a whole. You know, as the times have changed in the last 20 years or more, you know, when there's new media, when there were DVDs, there was, the studios had to figure out how they're continuing to pay people for their work. With streaming, it's a whole elevated way where, you know, you have a show, you put your, a whole team of people works really, really hard on it for a long time. It used to be that you make money up front, you make some money, down the road as well as it's re-aired. Every time you would see a rerun of a sitcom on television, a writer would get paid, actors would get paid, people in the industry who put their blood, sweat, and tears into the project, they would all get paid over and over again. When it would go on DVD, they would get paid. Everybody was making money as the studios made money. What's going on right now, which has been the problem, is with streaming in particular, a show's on there and they have a very low-level model in which people, creators, writers, performers, everybody has a limit to how much they can make, while the streamers themselves are making constant money, constant subscribers, constant people watching the show. So a show like Cobra Kai, which you guys have made a giant hit, the studios are making money forever on it. But, the rest of us who've worked really hard on it end up kind of high and dry in the long run. And it's not about looking for more money than you would typically get in the past. It's really just making the business be similar to how it was in the past, where if you're contributing something that's making people money, then you see the money as well. So that's one element of it. But
Okay, so
Wow.
that I thought that might be a good place to stop and digest, because everyone has amazing things to say, and there's a lot in here. And so we were talking a lot about the strike and why the writers are striking. And this is one of the big things, is the compensation, right? The compensation just isn't quite right for the streaming realm. And I just thought it was really interesting how Jon put it, that it's really just trying to bring this new source of revenue, this new way to broadcast content into alignment with everything else, the way it's been done for decades.
Yeah, definitely. And this isn't Cobra Kai related, but this was pretty recent and it has to do with the streaming services. Did you hear about Disney Plus and how they removed multiple shows from the platform completely, including Willow, Big Shot, Turner and Hooch, a couple
Yes.
Disney Plus shows. These are shows that not only got canceled, because these shows got canceled, which happens, but now these shows were completely removed from the service for money purposes. So the actors, the writers, the directors, the producers, all these people that worked so hard on this project, it doesn't exist anymore anywhere. So it's why do you even know why that is too?
Well, it's really an interesting thing. I'd love to look more into it. We saw the beginning of this with Batgirl, right? That was a movie that was being shot by Warner Brothers about the character Batgirl. Michael Keaton was in it as Batman. Brendan Fraser, who just won an Academy Award, played the villain. And they basically threw it in the trash. It was completely filmed, and they decided they weren't even going to release it, and no one was ever going to see it. We've seen that with Westworld on HBO Max. They just decided to pull it down. It's not even available. You can't stream it anymore. And it was made by HBO Max. It was a series made by HBO Max. And it's interesting that this is happening now, because I wonder if this is a weird signal that, okay, if maybe, I don't know if this is part of the negotiation where the studios are like, we have these shows that we're making for streaming and you're wanting residuals. But the thing is, we can cut you a better residuals deal, but the threshold is going to be higher before we take that down from our service. So you don't make any residuals anymore. I don't know if that's like a negotiating ploy or if they're just doing it for their bottom line, but it is kind of scary. You're right. And they poured all their work into these series, and they can just take it down. And I think now we're starting to see why physical media is such a good thing. And it's good to maybe have shows on different mass media, like broadcast, maybe DVD, Blu-ray, 4K discs that you can own and rewatch whenever you want, and then streaming, because this is the downfall of streaming. They can just remove things whenever they want.
Yeah. And I know we still have a lot to go, but I do want to ask you, just to kind of like, before we keep going, just to kind of set up the rest of the stream, can you just talk a little bit about like how, like, so like you got here, how did like the first, like before the interviews, like, when you were talking to John, Josh, Hayden, Thomas, Alicia, were they open to talking about it? What were you guys talking about? How did this all like come to be?
Yeah. I reached out to John and asked if that's something he'd be interested in doing, and, if we were at a point where it was a good time to talk about these things, because, up till now, it's mainly been through, tweets, and, we've gotten some reports here and there. And so I think the time was right. And, I went down, met up with them, and they're just all just so gracious and very, very relaxed. It was, just a wonderful kind of, we're all fans, right? They'll say they're the biggest fans, themselves. And it's true. I mean, just amazingly gracious, just fun to talk to, introducing, I got there, John said, and you'll see this in the video too, is, John was introducing me to people, and Hayden and Josh were fantastic. Alicia and Thomas Ian Griffith, Page Keller arrived a bit later, but, I talked with them a bit as well. They were, so everyone was just really wonderful. And, and I know it's not the easiest of times for the writers, but, and sometimes it takes a lot to put on a brave face. So, when you're not able to work and go out and basically picket, and you'll see if you've seen the video here, basically they're just walking up and down the street with signs. I mean, this is classic picketing, and you're doing that for 3 hours. Wow. So yeah, everyone was in good spirits, considering. I think everyone, the pretzels helped morale, and, they were trying to talk and keep morale up. And, it's a tough time for everyone.
No. And a great, he did a great job of really like explaining the whole situation and laying it down for us. So John's the best. Love John.
Yeah. It's, guys, I can't state just how amazing everyone is. It's really incredible. And I think that's maybe part of why the show's so great. Everyone's on that same wavelength. Everyone's so courteous and calm and understanding and enthused. And I can't state that enough. And I hope that comes through in these videos.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And and thank you guys for the comments. Jaws says, Jon Hurwitz, what a nice guy. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Frank says, hey, Ken and Drew, hope you're doing well. This is awesome. Good job representing Cobra Kai fans. My question is, are the Cobra Kai 2 writers on strike as well? Hey, Frank, you know that Terry Silver's organizations don't allow unions. They can't strike. You can't strike when you're working for Terry Silver. So that's a good question. That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun. So, and there's I see a super chat. Let me bring that up. Thanks for the super chat, Clifford.
Ooh.
Ken, I know the writers and actors were striking. Do you think the stunt doubles were out there because the strike affects them too? Right. You brought this up, Drew. Like, this idea that they went out, they went out there, like the big three were out there. Then the strike was called. They flew back, and then they shot episode 1. And so that's what happened. And then they stopped production after episode 1. And you'll hear it. We'll get to John. We'll talk about this a bit, and I think Josh and Hayden will as well. But it's really kind of fascinating, how that all works. So, yeah, I think everyone was out there. Everyone involved with episode 1. I think.
Yeah, Clifford, you bring up a great point about how the strike is affecting the writers, affecting the actors, stunt doubles, but also it's affecting everybody. Even the people behind the scenes. No one, they're not in production right now. So any position on a crew, if that's how people depend on making money, they're all suffering from this. So I'd imagine, Ken, did you see anybody? Okay, so you saw tons of writers, actors. Did you meet anybody else? Like anybody from crew or any of that? Anyone outside of Cobra Kai, maybe?
Yes, they had there were some people there from Obliterated.
Woo!
So and I got to meet an actor who was in Obliterated and basically was out there and ready to shoot episode 2 he had a part in episode 2 of Cobra Kai season 6, but they stopped production. So he was out there, God. And then he had to go back. But he was there marching with everyone. So
that's cool.
Yes.
It's cool, but it's not cool.
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird. It's weird. Yeah.
It is. Okay, let's shall we keep going?
Yes, we shall.
Okay, here we go.
That's just one of the major issues that are being talked about in the writer's strike. Beyond that, there's concerns about AI, for example. That's something you've probably heard about. And, AI is coming. There's no secret with that. But, people at the studios are looking for any way to pay people less and to have greater ownership of things. So there's talk of internally at a studio, they have come up with an idea and they have AI do the early drafts of stuff so that the studio owns the property. There's no creator involved, and then they hire 1 or 2 writers to come in and sort of polish up work that, that the machine is doing. And, we don't have our heads in the sand. We recognize that there's constant progress in society and technology, but you're not making a show like Cobra Kai with AI. You need a group of writers in a room. You need people who are creating it, and then you need people who are a group of writers working with each other to add that complexity that people fall in love with. The fresh storylines, the more sophisticated elements of the story that keep people coming back. Those are things that are a lot harder for a machine to do. So, that's one of the elements that we're fighting for, to keep the job of a screenwriter there. So when my children, if they want to be screenwriters in the future, or anyone's children, that it's still an opportunity. It's still something that isn't just a limited job for limited people. Oh, what do we got here? Come on in here.
So that's fun. This is super fun that we're about to get into. But I thought it was so interesting that he brought up AI, right? Because we've been talking about that.
Yeah, Tuesday, baby. Tuesday, ChatGPT live stream. Stay tuned. Yeah, so my question with the AI, isn't AI like the artificial intelligence? It's the computer, gathering all the information, but don't they need to generate their information? Don't they have to use information they already know? Like, they can't generate new, brand new ideas, right? It's all based around stuff. Is that true? That's kind of what I've been hearing. Can you clarify that?
Yeah. So basically, it's just AI right now, or I guess even into the future, it needs to be trained. So you have to feed it things because it won't know anything unless you feed it things. So right now, AI like ChatGPT that we're going to use on Tuesday is going to feed off the internet. It reads the internet, and that's what it uses. And So yeah, for a movie or a TV show, it will probably analyze and be trained on movies that have been written. And so right now it looks like AI is at a point where it would mix things and try to regurgitate ideas based on what other people have done already.
So basically, no originality.
No, it's like, the pictures, Drew, of, say the president being chased down by cops, like with like assault rifle. You know what I mean? Like you can look at these AI created photos that look real and they're pretty funny. But what that's doing is it's basically taking images of, say, like a president or a leader and of cops and it's taking all those elements and putting them together to make a new picture. But the thing is, it needed all those pictures previously, the real ones, in order to make this sort of new combined picture. It's kind of the same thing. It's like the AI wouldn't be able to do anything unless it could take parts from other people's work.
That's crazy. Oh God, this day and age.
I know, it's kind of freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Marianella does say, in my opinion, no artificial intelligence is going to replace the creativity of writers. What do you think?
100%. 100%. Like, I mean, even like Ken, what we were doing like on the last stream when we were talking about like, Kim Da-eun like going to like Korea and like recruiting students, like you said an idea and then I said an idea and then you said an idea and we kept building off of it. Like Chat GBT, artificial intelligence can't do that. I mean, it's what it is. It's like the best stories come, in my opinion, maybe not the best stories, but a lot of good stories come from personal experience. When I write, when I create, I always, really like to touch something that means a lot to me or something that I'm going through. I feel like it makes it more real, makes it more powerful because, a lot of people, it's very true. Like, when people say you're not alone, like, I know, like, if I'm going through something like difficult and I want to like create something about it, like some art of it, I know that like there's someone else out there and multiple people who are probably going through similar things. I can really connect to it. That's why, like with Cobra Kai, we have so many different characters that have these different struggles that we can really relate to. Like Daniel LaRusso in the beginning of season 1 and even through season 5, his big thing is family and a lot of family complications. So as a father, as a mother, as a grandfather, as a parent, you can relate to Daniel and his struggles. And I'm sure that, the writers, maybe even John, Josh, and Hayden and all the other guys, maybe they used experiences from their own personal life, some of the hardships that they've gone through. And with Johnny Lawrence, alcohol was a big issue for him. Maybe there was someone who one of the Cobra Kai writers who dealt with alcohol problems, like, these real things that are explored and people can find it and relate to it. And I don't know if you can relate to those same things as a computer being the one generating those real things,
Right. I know it's an interesting question because even if you as a person, Drew, if you read books about all those things, but never experienced, like you just lived the high life, you have a comfy bed, comfy chair, comfy house, and you never got out and you didn't experience any of this, but you were reading books about it or articles. Does that mean you know what that's like?
No, no, you don't know until you go through it. I mean, there's, the famous saying, like putting yourself in someone's shoes or experiencing it like firsthand. And, really, like, I mean, for example, The Fabelmans, the recent movie that came out based off of Spielberg's life. And as an aspiring filmmaker myself, like I connected to that film. And not only was it about just filmmaking. It was about like bullying and family and getting through tough times. And I'm like, wow, like there's so much good stuff here, but that's based off of his personal life. So you can't come up with those things, like, you know, if you don't go through it yourself. I mean, I can't imagine, like, listen, I have not really dived into like what AI can do that much. Firsthand, I've kind of seen stuff, but not really. That's what Tuesday is going to be all about. When we're 6, I'm probably going to be mind blown by this thing, and we'll see. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I can't wait, Drew. Tuesday is going to be incredible. We're going to see state of the art AI and see how it can do.
Yeah.
We do have a couple super chats. Here's one for Cobra Kai Kid, Steve Boardman.
Oh, thanks, Steve. Appreciate that.
And then here's what he says.
Glad to hear the writers were on set for episode number 1. Any idea what a fair interim deal would look like to get the writers back on set?
Okay. Okay. Well, the first thing I
What
want
does he
to point
mean
out
by
is
that?
right. So, okay. So there are two parts. The first part is the writers were on set. The writers were not on set for episode 1.
Yeah.
And we'll see that as we keep going. And I'm sorry, guys, we pause and talk about these things, but you'll see, just stick with us and keep watching, and you'll see the answers to some of these questions. But the writers were not on set for episode 1. And then he says, any idea what a fair interim deal would look like to get the writers back on set? I don't think they're going to do interim deals. Like, I think it's going to be a deal. It has to be like the deal.
What is an interim deal? I do not know what that is.
It'd basically be like a temporary holdover deal until like a full formal one would be reached. They're at the point where the contract is over and they have to sign a new contract. And I don't think it's going to be an interim one. I think it's going to have to be a full one. So,
okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Great question, Steve. Thank you.
And then Steve has another one for you. Oh, okay. It's the same one.
Oh, okay. So the first part was the same. Thank you, Steve. And then, what would it take to get them back on set? Generally speaking, that's kind of what we're discussing, right?
Right.
John pretty much laid it out. What they're looking for: better compensation. I guess in the contracts, like a guarantee that they can't be replaced by AI or whatever.
Right.
Some stability. There's a lot there. So
yeah, they do have a lot. They do have a lot. So yeah, thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that.
Yes. Okay. Well, and we'll get back to this because AI comes up a few times. So we'll get everyone's or lots of people's thoughts on AI in that question. But yes, so we were just visited by Alicia Hannah-Kim and Sebastian Roche. So let's see here.
Come on in here. 1 second.
Hello. Hi. How's it going?
So some of you may recognize Alicia from the show. She's much friendlier in person than Kim Dayoon is. I don't know if you've met Ken Cole.
Haven't yet. Wonderful to meet you. Yes, amazing performance. Amazing.
Sebastian Booth. I'm the husband. But he's also an amazing actor and a big supporter of everything we're doing. And it's not just about the WGA, it's about STAG.
No, it really is about, really supporting our sister unions. It's always unbelievably important to support our unions. And without the writers, we wouldn't do anything. The word is the most important. Then come the actors. Then the directors.
The director's word. Well, the director's been done. No, I'm with you. So this is Ken does a lot of content for the Cobra Kai community.
Yes. Oh, it's my pleasure. It's amazing to cover such an amazing show. So, yeah.
Gosh, big brain, man.
Yes.
Awesome, bro. I'll let you guys continue there.
Thank you. Thanks for saying hi. Bye.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy? And it was just incredible. It's kind of weird, because I'm there and I've got my like setup here with like kind of like this, gimbal stick thing that I'm holding, and I'm like, oh, and it's like I'm meeting people and kind of like shaking their hands with my other hand. And, but you can kind of see there's that camaraderie, that solidarity that the actors have with the writers, and that's kind of an example.
Oh my God, that was beautiful. And before we talk about Alicia, I have to say, like, Jon is so sweet. He's so kind. Like, even just the way he talks, he has such a gentle way about him. I can't ever picture this guy getting mad. I would be like terrified if I saw a mad Jon Hurwitz. Like I feel like he's like, because we know he's a dad. I feel like he's like, so sweet. And then, like, when he yells, like, I'm sure it's like, Dad, oh my God, because he just looks so like sweet and kind. I don't know. So like the fact that he, like, totally said, like, this is Ken Cole, like he does like YouTube for the Cobra Kai community, like that was really cool of him to like introduce you, get her in there. And yeah, he's awesome.
He is. It's just so gracious, just amazing. And it's just sometimes not until after you leave you realize just, wow, just how amazing and talented all these people are. And very, very gracious of Jon to kind of like include me there. So amazing, just incredible.
Yeah. And Alicia, she seems so sweet and kind. I love her energy. Like, if there's anybody in the cast like that I would want to like hang out with, like she would definitely be on the top of the list, because I just love like her. She's so bubbly, energetic, kind, passionate about like her craft and what she does. She just seems like a really great person, which is so funny because her character is the polar opposite. Like just the least like the person you would not want to get in the conversation with. But Alicia just seems so amazing, and her husband Sebastian, pretty cool. That I just found out that they were married like today. So that, and I definitely recognize him from a lot of stuff. So really cool that they're both supporting the writers, and that like even though they're actors, they're not like, oh yeah, we're above everybody, like we're the talent, whatever. No, like they're like, everyone's equal, everyone puts in the work. And can you believe, like, you said like, I love doing content for such an amazing show, and the first thing she says is, yeah, it couldn't have been done without Jon, Josh, and Hayden. It's the first thing she says, and it's the first thing all of them say. It's amazing. Have you noticed that, right?
Yes. All of them, and you'll see is they really put such a focus and emphasis on the writers, the creators, the people, who come up with this. And you can see, and I saw it too. You're right. They're very talented. They're amazing and gracious and nice. And, but they're fans. They are genuine. They are genuinely head over heels in love with this universe. So, and the fans, they love the fans. They consider themselves to be fans. So yeah. And 100% agree with you about Alicia and Sebastian. So nice. So amazing. So disarming. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that you got to capture that first meeting on camera there.
I know. It was pretty wild. It was pretty cool. Chris, thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you, Chris.
Ken and Cobra Kai Kid. Entertaining stream. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Yeah, it's
thank you, Chris.
It's interesting. Jaws says Jon Hurwitz can call an Ennis house and Cobra Gold too. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jaws. I appreciate it. That would be a lot of fun. So that was great, Drew. Shall we keep going?
Yeah, let's do it. I love this.
Let's see what else Jon has to say.
So, Jon, let me ask you, a lot of fans, they see the show, they love the show. They see the amazing performances. They see the amazing stunt sequences. But what is it that a writer does for a show like Cobra Kai?
Okay, so this is a really good question because, I keep up with the fandom a little bit, and I know that there was, concern about like their filming, and people were excited that they're filming still without us there.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is, not only are we creating the show in the writer's room and working with our writers in the writer's room. But every single day in production, all day long, we're working on improving what's on the page. Collaborating, there's the magic that happens on set when it's not just the writers and the directors and the actors. Everyone on the team is swimming in the same direction. We're all collaborating. It's our costume designer, Frank Helmer, comes and he's like, I got this great idea for a t-shirt that has this on it.
Right.
And we as the writers are contributing and tweaking a lot, the words on one of Dimitri's shirts or something like that. Or we're on set every time we're filming a scene, there will be a rehearsal at first. And pretty much every single scene that we've ever done on the show, we'll watch a rehearsal, we'll be there, we'll come up with an extra line. We'll be like, you know what, that line isn't working right. Let's adjust the line a little bit. Sometimes some improv happens there and we're making adjustments to the script. Every single day, we're usually collaborating with our actors who are coming up with questions and things like that and saying, hey, maybe we do a little something here. I'm feeling this. What's the intent here? Could I say this? Or I want this to be clear. And then we come up with something. And we're constantly issuing new drafts of the scripts throughout production. Now, that's not to say I'm not trying to scare everybody. Episode 1, which is filmed in season 6, is going to be great. It's going to be fine. It's an episode that we all put a lot of focus into. We were there prepping with Joel, who was directing for us. We prepped with the department heads because all that was right before the strike. They filmed without us. It was a tough thing. All the actors on set, it was tough for them. It was tough for Joel. Worst case scenario, we watched the episode and we're trying to piece it together in the editing room and we're missing something. We'll pick things up. We'll fix it. Anything that's not working, we'll be able to fix in the long run. But that worked for one episode. Why we were thrilled for them to shut down after that was because if you keep making more and more episodes and you don't have writers on set, then you're in a situation where there's more problems that could go on. And then suddenly it's like, I don't need 1 day of reshooting or additional photography. Now I need 3. Now I need 6. And that's a lot of money that goes into the production's budget. And then when we come out on the other side of this, they're going to be like, okay, you have your budget. And now we're in a situation where they've lost a bunch of money and now we have to spend a lot more money on this and that, which makes the show worse in the long run, because if we're spending money on reshoots, then we're not spending money on other things that would make the show better. So a writer's job is not just in the writer's room. It's not just the scripts. It's every single decision that gets made on the show. For Hayden, Josh, and I as the showrunners, we're making hundreds of decisions a day. And they're things that when they were filming that first episode, we were not making those decisions. And he would speak to, when they finished filming, we were speaking to Joel, and it's like, it was tough for him. We're speaking to the actors. It was tough for them because there were times where they would typically come to us. And these are all people who worked on the show for a while, and we trust them, and we know that they made the best decision they could. But there's no substitute for the collaboration of writers and the entire team on a television series.
Okay, so that was a lot, but Drew, that's very familiar, isn't it? We were having lots of conversations about that, about the role of a writer in a show. And it's kind of cool to hear from Jon. This is what writers do. And this is how important writers are. I don't know. What do you think, Drew? How does that kind of hit you?
Oh, man. Well, listening to that, it's pretty cool because if you guys have been watching all of the streams with Ken and I, this is what we've been saying. Like, it's pretty cool that, there's been a lot of it's nice to kind of hear it's kind of it's like, yeah, we got it right. We got it right. Listen, everything we said was we were speculating, but we were right when it came to this. There were conversations between a lot of the fandom that they're still going to go on production as normal. And the writers don't need to be on set, but this answer from Jon, you and I, we've been saying that we do need writers on set. We've been everything that Jon said, we've been talking about how there's constantly being decisions made, and anything on set, like the fact that he says every scene there's a rehearsal and they usually change something. That's a big deal. And I really appreciate his honesty. I think he was very honest here about you know, I'm sure like, you know, the first episode will be good, will be great, but at the same time though, it might not be we might watch and be like, that was a great episode. But John, Josh, and Hayden might watch it and be like, we could have done this or we could have done that. Just a couple of things. Obviously, the main story would be the same, but maybe just tweak that line or add this thing to make it the best it could be. And that's very important for them. You know, and for any creator, any writer, you always want to make it the best you can make it. And when you have to like kind of sacrifice the quality, it's not always the best thing. And oh my God, there's so much he said here. Even the fact of like, you know, we've been saying this too. The camaraderie on set was different because you hear all the stories about Martin Kove wanted a script change. Who did he go to? He went to the big three. He didn't go to anyone else. He went to the big three about that. But they weren't there. The actors go to them. So with them not being there, even Joel Novoa, the director, you know, it like usually has them there because even when there's another director on set, or even when someone else is officially directing. And I remember asking, I forgot who I asked. It was one of the creators. I asked them like, you know, they talk about how they're always like, even if they're not credited as a director, they are always a part of it, and they are running the show, and they are directing like different things, different scenes. A lot of times they have A units and B units. So while Joel Novoa might be directing this scene, you'll have Hayden and Josh directing this, or John directing that. So, oh my God, Ken, what? what I mean, what'd you think?
Yeah, pretty much the same. And I really wanted to, and I know what you're saying. There's like a lot of discussion online. And I mean, for everyone who's not involved in producing TV shows, it can be kind of confusing. Like, what does everyone do? You bring up showrunners, and later on, Hayden, I'm going to ask him specifically about what a showrunner does. And it's along the lines of what you just said, you know, that they're kind of like the ones in charge. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The other point I wanted to bring up, I thought was fascinating, was kind of implied in what John is saying, is that John, Josh, and Hayden didn't control necessarily whether it was going into production or not. Yes. Like they weren't the ones So I think he said there, it's like, so we were kind of relieved when they shut down production. Which is interesting. So it wasn't necessarily their call to shut down production, probably Sony's or, you know, Netflix, you know, hire whoever's paying for it, I guess. And I thought it was really interesting what he said about, even with episode 1, it's filmed, but there might be things, like everyone did the best they could, but there might be things that might not work just because the writers weren't involved. They weren't there. But that's okay. We can fix that. And then he used the word, we can pick them up later. And so like what a pickup is, it's like when you're done, and this happens with movies all the time, TV shows, you've shot something, production's over, but you go back, you look at it, you put it together, something's not quite right, something needs to be added. And pickup shoots are when you go back and you shoot extra stuff at the end. So what he's saying is, like, with episode 1, everyone did a great job. They did the best job they could. But when we look at it after production's done, you know, we might have to go back and do pickups because the writers weren't there. But if they didn't shut it down and they kept on shooting more episodes, then they would have to do more and more pickups to fix things. And that would just balloon the budget. And it would mean that they can't spend that money where they'd like to spend it. And that would hurt the show. So that's why in this case, it's good that it was just one episode, so they don't have to go back and spend a ton of money to do these pickups and adjust things that they couldn't be there. The writers couldn't be there to help while shooting.
Yeah, definitely. Great point. And another thing which I noticed, we've been talking about, we know 100 million % Thomas Ian Griffith and Alicia Hannah-Kim were not on set for season 6 for episode 1. They've been here. They've been striking for the past 2 weeks. Like, we've seen the pictures. Now we've talked about this. We've talked about them not being there. So we talked about the possibility of them not being in the first episode. But then we also talked about the possibility of, we go through it all. Like, what are all the possible options? Another possible option is they are in episode 1, but they just didn't film their scenes. However, after your conversation with John, I feel like it really seems like they finished episode 1. They did it. And anything else they would do later would be fixing things or reshoots. So did you get that impression from John? And if so, does that mean Thomas and Alicia are not in the first episode?
You know what, Drew, that is a very wonderful question. I think that's very insightful. Yeah, I got the feeling that they feel like episode 1's in the can.
Mm-hmm.
So it is possible that, we've seen Thomas and Alicia picketing as well in solidarity. I guess it's possible that they might save scenes for a pickup or something like that. Who knows though? Like episode 1 as they wrote it. So I think this is one of the things they might realize going through the season. They might start writing, going through the season, and realize, oh, hey, we need a Sensei Kim scene in episode 1. That would help actually. And then they can go back and shoot that if they need to, but ideally the writers would be there writing and rewriting constantly. So they could do that during production. But yeah, I agree. I think we don't know 100%, but I think you're right. It sounds like it's in the can.
Mm. Interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting. Okay, guys, let's see what else John has to say.
Wow, wonderful. Well, so we know we're on pause right now with the season 6. What would you say to fans right now as far as there being a delay when it's actually released, and then also how worth it will be for that wait to happen?
Well, first of all, we don't know what the delay is going to be yet. That's something that we'll find out when the strike is over. None of us want to be striking. Let's be very clear. As fun as this is, we get to see a lot of our friends walking by. We got a pretzel truck today,
Josh,
and yep. There's a camaraderie that you enjoy here. But that's all. We're all like, using this as a distraction from our sorrows, because right now we're not doing what we love doing. What we live for is making the show and making the content that we do. None of us want to be here, but it's worth it because it's worth it for us and worth it for the fans, because not only will it lead to better content on Cobra Kai going forward as the writers all get back, but greater content, motivated writers who are able to earn a living. Like, if you're not able to earn a living, then you're not going to have as many people writing good content. You're not going to have as many people who could pursue these jobs going forward.
Right.
So, it's about the livelihood of the people who are commuting and contributing to the work that you love. Now, it will be worth the wait. When we are finished, we've been already working in the writer's room. We've planned our season in the broad strokes. We have several outlines. We have several scripts. We have lots planned, and our brains never turn off. We're always thinking about where things are going to go on the other side of it. And as soon as we're done with the strike, we'll get back at it. And it's going to have a motivated, excited, unified group of people who feel like they're putting in the work and being appreciated for the work that they're doing.
That's absolutely amazing.
Interesting.
Wait. Did you see? You know what I'm about to reference, right?
Go ahead.
Did I hear that right with the scripts?
Right.
Can we watch that part one more time?
Yeah.
Where he
let's
talked
back up.
about what they actually did. That is
Right.
really okay. Well, let's listen to that and then we can talk about it. Yeah.
Hopefully I got it. Hopefully I got
And
it.
our season in the broad strokes we have and contributing to the work that you love. Now, it will be worth the wait. When we are finished, we've been already working in the writer's room. We've planned our season in the broad strokes. We have several outlines. We have several scripts. We have lots planned, and our brains never turn off. We're always thinking about where things are going to go on the other side of it. And as soon as we're done with the strike, we'll get back at it. And it's going to have a motivated, excited, unified group of people who feel like they're putting in the work and being appreciated for the work that they're doing.
That's
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Drew?
Okay. I mean, what he's saying, he's saying like he's being very direct about we have the broad stroke of the full season, which makes sense. We knew that, or at least like it was we had a feeling that even though we didn't get official confirmation of where they were in the script writing process, we knew they didn't finish writing. Even though they're never done writing, we know they write during on set and all that. They were not done in the writer's room. And we know that because, they made the post, pencils down. They were still in LA. So the writer's room got shut down. But I think a lot of us thought that they were like late into the writing process when that happened. But he says that they have several outlines and several scripts. And I mean, last time I checked, several was like about 4, right? Is the exact definition of several like 3 to 4?
I think that's fair. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. At least 3. Maybe
More than 2, but not many. So
Right.
several means 3 or 4, but you're not going to say several if you have 7 or 8 episodes written, right?
Right. And I'm glad you picked up on this because this is something that I'll talk about with Josh and Hayden in slightly different ways as well. So you'll be able to kind of put all this together and figure out like where they were in the process and what the writing process is on Cobra Kai.
Okay, so this gets further explored.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
so you know all the answers.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, we've got Ken Cole here. I'm very lucky to be there asking these great talented people these questions, and they've been very honest and detailed to share with the fans, so we know exactly where things are. So yes, we will get our answers, Drew.
Definitely,
100%.
And I think we have another super chat in from Kaimelli.
Oh yes,
there you go.
Kaimelli, stand up for us fans. We know you all will. Indeed. Yes. And that's a great comment because that's exactly what they're doing. They're wanting to make sure this is great for us, that we're going to enjoy it and help the world realize that writers are the ones dreaming up these ideas that we all love watching.
Yeah, that he's really I love what he says. He knows they don't want to be there, but they have to do what they got to do. But they care about the fans. They know we're waiting, but ultimately, as he says, it's all gonna pay off. I mean, coming up with a better deal will lead to happier writers and more motivation to write better stories. So, I think it'll all work out, and we support them all the way. We've always been, throughout all our streams, we've been talking about all the news, all the information, but throughout it, we have always been supporting our writers, even though it's like, man, season 6, we want it, we want it. They want it too, but at the same time, this is bigger than Cobra Kai. This is bigger than all of us.
You're right. It is. Because if there is another series out there, at some point, like Cobra Kai or like your favorite series, we need fair deals to be in place. So we have the maximum creative output of these talented people.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Oh
All
my
right,
God! Wait, look who's in the background.
Oh yes, everyone see that?
So at this point, you hadn't met him.
No, I hadn't met him at this point. I didn't even know he was there right now.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Were you like editing and like did you see this when you were editing?
I saw some of these things when I was editing, because you can see more people. Like, for instance, there's Luan Thomas right there beside him, right? Who's been a writer since the beginning, since season one.
Yeah.
And so, and it's fun. It's fun to see everyone talking. They all know each other. Obviously, they work so closely. And so, yeah, everyone's incognito. It's so funny. It's so great. And even as I'm watching now, this conversation, I'm noticing everyone who's walking behind us, like,
yeah, I know what
yeah, it's so fun.
So casually. I'm sorry, before we keep going, I have to ask you, Ken, like, I know you met Thomas Ian Griffith at Paley Fest, but like, even like, I mean, we're gonna see you meeting him, but even like being here, like, this is like, I know like how big of a Karate Kid 3 fan you are. And this goes back, like to, you were such a fan of that movie. And then now Thomas Ian Griffith returning. And now here you are, like, you've cultivated a platform where Thomas Ian Griffith, someone who had no idea who you were, and you were just a fan. Now like, he respects you. He appreciates you, and like, and now you're talking to him, and you're picketing with him, and like, what is that like coming all that way to now?
Well, Drew, that very kind words. Thank you so much. It's incredible. It's incredible. Obviously I'm a filmmaker. I've done a lot of stuff. I've worked with a lot of very high profile people in my career. I don't get starstruck very easily. Thomas Ian Griffith, I'm definitely starstruck. So it's just absolutely incredible. But the thing is, it's, even if you're starstruck for a minute, being around Thomas or Josh Hayden, Alicia, they're so disarming. They're so gracious and disarming that you just feel comfortable. Yeah. And so it's really incredible, but it also kind of reveals the power of acting, because you see these people in real life and you realize how great actors they are, because they're completely different than who they are in real life. Like you feel like you could just say, talk with Thomas or Alicia in real life and just have an amazing conversation, but you might not have that amazing conversation with Terry Silver or Sensei Kim. You know what I mean? It's really, it kind of shows how great actors they are.
Dude, I would love to see your reaction if like you wait, like one morning you wake up and you look around and it's like, wait a second, I'm in the original Cobra Kai dojo. What's going on here? And then you have Thomas walks in dressed as Silver, and he's like Kenny boy, like, man can't stand, can't fight. Like, I feel like that would be like, you're exactly right. You feel like you're talking to a different person, but like, oh my God, just imagine if you're talking to him and like, he's like, okay, I'm going to get into Terry Silver mode now. And he's telling you to break this board. And he's saying, Ken, like I turn wimps into winners. And like, how would that feel?
I don't think I could handle that, Drew. I really don't. Like, if I were like there and Thomas was acting as Terry Silver, that would be insane. Yeah, that would be very intimidating. My personality might shift to try and cope with the situation.
I think I would cry. I think I would just say, no, Thomas, please. I'm sorry.
And yeah, it's weird. But it's a great reminder, guys, that these are, they're people, just like you and me. They're amazingly talented people, and we see them on the screens and on our screens, but they're wonderful people.
Yeah, they really are.
All right, let's keep going. I'm not sure how many questions I have left for Jon. We'll see.
That's absolutely amazing. And I can't wait. I know I can't wait. And I want to thank you so much for answering these questions. And I know it means a lot to all the fans. And I know we're with you. We know how good the show is. We know how important it is to have amazing content. And so thank you for talking with us.
It's my pleasure. And thank you for being here. No mercy.
No mercy. I am here
I have
with...
to ask you a question before we
Yes.
get to Alicia. I'm excited for this. By any chance, did they mention that did any of them mention the live streams that we've done? Because Hayden appeared on our live stream. Did they bring that up or no? Did they mention it?
I think Hayden talked about some live stream. I don't know if he talked about ours. He mentioned some live streams. Definitely about Karate Kid 3. He might have. I'm trying to remember. I think it's safe to say though that, like Jon said, they're very aware of the conversations in the fan community and stuff, and so yeah, they're obviously, you're right. Like Hayden showed up, so, and I think my sense is he will show up and say something when he feels something needs to be said. So
yeah.
So he will contribute.
He'll probably come on here and be like, Ken, make sure you make me look good in the video or something. Like, Ken, you got the wrong side of me. Like, you got my bad side or something.
Yeah, they're hilarious. They amazing senses of humor. Amazing.
Yeah.
So
right, here we go.
Here we go. Here's Alicia Hannah-Kim.
Look at that outfit. Great outfit.
Yeah, she just very
Sensei Kim herself.
Oh, I was talking about you.
Oh, thanks, Drew. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Alicia too.
Yeah, Alicia too. I spent 90 minutes putting that together. So
There we go.
anyway,
Alicia Hannah-Kim, thank you so much for talking to us today. We're here in this picket line for the WGA, the Writers Guild. So tell us about why you were here today and why it's so important for everyone to see what's going on.
I'm here to support Team Cobra. I think.
I'm here to support.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Thomas Ian Griffith.
Support Thomas. I'm here to support Thomas with Paul's Anatomy Universe. No,
Did he see you?
it's so funny.
Oh my god.
You'll see by the end of this, Thomas Ian Griffith is a very skilled and effective video bomber.
Oh
Incredible.
my god.
Yes,
wow.
incredible. It's just perfect timing.
Wait, so was that the first interaction?
I think so. No, what you mean, like I might
Between you
have
and
talked to him. I might have talked to him and Mary Page Keller for a few minutes before that,
Okay.
but I can't quite remember.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, like, did he see you there? Like, because I know your back was to him, so maybe I was like, I don't know, but you talked to him before.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I talked with him before. So yes,
Okay.
so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Wait, can you go back? I want to hear what she like squeezing him. Oh, that's great. Oh my god, that's so good.
Why you were here today and why it's so important for everyone to see what's going on.
I'm here to support Team Cobra. I think.
I'm here to support.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Look at her.
Thomas Ian Griffith.
Support Thomas. I'm here to support Thomas with Paul's Anatomy Universe. No,
I love how she's like doing this. She's like so that's like what I would do. I'm like, Thomas.
Yeah. It's like there's so much amazing energy. It's like
And it's like funny because, like, I mean, they've been like hanging out all day, like, and here he comes and she's so happy to see him. Oh, I love that.
yes, and
you better be supporting Cobra.
it's great. Yeah, very, very cool. And I asked them about that because you can tell they just have like an amazing camaraderie, you know. And I think you could see that in season 5 in those scenes between Terry Silver and Sensei Kim. And yeah, everyone just gets along so well. I know I say that a million times, but
Yeah.
okay. So here's her real answers.
I'm here because, it's really important. Our show obviously is halted production because of the strike, and our showrunners are out here, our writers are out here, and so it's really important for our show to come together in solidarity. And I hope that we can get a resolution to this situation. It's really unsustainable and untenable for all the workers, to be on the street and having to picket. So I'm hoping that we're able to move forward as soon as possible. But until then, we're here like a sign, we're here with a t-shirt.
Well, now you did such an amazing job playing Sensei Kim in season 5. We were introduced to her. What can you say about that experience so far? And can you tease anything about what's to come in season 6?
The experience was incredible. I mean, I think any fan of Cobra knows how iconic and fun this show is. And also, behind the scenes, how warm everybody is on set. And so the minute that I got there, I was embraced, and that was really, it was exciting or thrilling. And then obviously Kim Young is a really extreme person to play, which is fun because just get to live out all of your darkest emotions on set.
Right.
I really enjoyed it. And what's to come? I don't know if I can say a lot, but I was just telling you that it's going to be really big. I think that fans will be really satisfied. I know that the showrunner will try putting together the biggest, baddest season yet. And I've seen a little bit of what's to come, so I'm excited. But
That's great. And then we saw him briefly. Thomas Ian Griffith just said hi.
Yes.
What was that like? Because the two of you were such a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
What was that like working with him?
we had the most fun. I mean, he's like the loveliest, most delightful person, as you just saw. I think it's really funny that we're so sort of evil on screen, and then behind the scenes we're just like two little marshmallows,
Right.
just like swishing around in the corner, being sweet. So, it's an honor to work with someone that's so venerated in Miyagi, and people will love his character. There's a lot of history. I think it's also really interesting as a performer to play someone you played 30 years ago, and then you're back here and exploring that storyline still. I think that is unique, to making this, try to keep it going.
Yes. Well, on that note, have you thought about the possibility that you may play Sensei Kim in the future as well?
I would love to.
Yeah.
I make myself available and be available to play this character. I'm really, I don't know if I can even articulate how fun it is. And the showrunners created somebody that was incredibly powerful and empowering, but also really fun to play. There's a lot to unravel with her, and she's got a lot of problems, which we'll delve into in the reading season. So yeah, I would always be available to play if I can. I love her. She's crazy. She has great hair.
She does.
Better than me. She's really extreme pattern stuff.
Yes.
Travel in private jet, which is not climate friendly. I wasn't too pleased about that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I love her.
So okay, Drew. See, I saw you notice something.
Yeah.
Maybe a hint. Maybe a hint.
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about, and that's what I've really been hoping for, because I thought Alicia did such a great job as Kim in season 5 and brought so much energy to this character. And the biggest thing for me was just like Tori in season 2 and 3. I had trouble relating to Tori just because she was so evil and doing all this crazy stuff. And just when there was some sort of backstory, then they kind of then they go too far into it. And season 4 blew me away with her development. So I feel like it's the same situation with Kim. We really didn't get too much Kim in season 5. I mean, well, we did, but if you think about it, she was introduced in episode 6. So, she was introduced in the later half of the season. And there are only a couple lines of dialogue that give us some backstory, and we have the flashback. But this is a character who, while I am afraid of, while I think she's very menacing, and I think her motivations are very interesting, I just don't think we really know exactly what those are yet. But I truly believe that she could have an incredible story in season 6, being that she could be that villain that really like takes over. I want to be able to understand her motivations, where she's coming from. I want to fear her. I want to love her. I want to hate her. I want to everything. But overall, Alicia does such a great job. She has so much passion and care for this character and for the series, as she says here. And once again, I love her energy. I think she seems like a great person. And I do not see Kim Da-eun here, which is like just a testament to her performance. I don't see Kim Da-eun at all. No. I mean, no. She's great.
Right. I mean, which is like shows just how great an actress she is. So really, really incredible. I know I'm very curious because I'll be honest, her character fascinates me. And if we're going to be delving into her character a bit more in season 6, I love that. You know, I can't wait to learn more maybe about what makes her tick and, you know, what are her vulnerabilities? You know, she really hasn't shown many vulnerabilities yet.
Yes.
What are those things what would get under her skin? What would kind of crack through that hard shell?
And I feel like that's very important. I feel like that's very important for the audience. Because I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. Because Terry Silver, John Kreese, like right off the bat when they were introducing Cobra Kai, I think we saw like the vulnerability with them right away. With this character, she came in strong. She came off that jet and like, I'm ready to take over. What do we got here? And like, are your Americans up to the task? Like, you know, so she right off the bat, she always exudes herself as very powerful. But at the end of season 5, when, you know, Terry embarrassingly lost to LaRusso, we saw like disgust on her face. And it was like the one time where like we really like, it was like, her plan was just not going. Things weren't going according to plan, and it looked like she was reconsidering everything. Yeah, it looked like she was really like, I gotta change things up. What is going on here? And I really want like, I want some backstory. I want like right off the bat from season 6 when we see her. Exactly what you said. I want to know what makes her tick. I want to know some of her weaknesses. I feel like that's very important to establish that early on, to connect with her, because I fear her, but I don't connect with her. I wanna be able to sympathize a little bit for her, a little bit, like, or at least even if I don't sympathize, I want to know like why is she doing what she's doing. We know her grandfather's Master Kim. And obviously instructed her, but like, was there an abusive relationship growing up? And maybe like, you know, her grandfather was always really hard on her. And, you know, like, you know, that's why she's like taking that abuse onto her students. I want to know more. I'm so fascinated with her character. I think she has a lot of potential.
Oh yeah. I think so too. Yeah, and all indications are we're going to see her, so that'll be fun.
And she knows what's going to happen. She mentioned that, right?
Yep. She has a very strong idea. It seems what's going to happen. So, yeah, fascinating stuff. I talked with her before this and had some conversations, and yeah, it does seem like she knows kind of what's going on, or at least generally in season 6. And but she didn't tell me, so I don't know. But yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yep.
That's what she did. She did the whole throw the key. I'll go back. Tell me where that spot is. I'll go there. I'll find that key.
Just run down to the next strike and see if it works. See if we can open up the secret.
Yes. There you go.
Okay, let's see what's next.
It's wonderful. Well, Alicia Hannah-Kim, thank you so much for talking today, and we're all so looking forward to seeing you in the future on Cobra Kai. So,
coming out and covering the strike. Of course. That fans know why the show has the production and why we're out here.
Yes. Bye. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
All right, everyone. I am here with Cobra Kai co-creator Josh Heald. Josh, it is amazing to have you here.
Good to see you.
We're here at the writer's strike. We're here in front of the Fox Studios. And I was wondering if you could kind of give your perspective on the strike, what this means for TV shows that we love like Cobra Kai, and what it means for the Cobra Kai show.
We kind of all knew this strike was coming for a while. It felt, the drumbeat was there that this was a generational strike that needed to happen. It was a generational negotiation, I should say. Like, the strike felt inevitable, and now we're here, and it was, I guess, because what needs to happen is the contracts that the writers get need to kind of match the work that's being done. The contracts that exist, the template for how writers are employed and treated is something that might be familiar if you're making, Three's Company back in 1981, but doesn't really make sense if you're writing a 6-episode, limited series for Netflix in 2023. So, the Writers Guild is really just after a fair contract that acknowledges how episodes are made, how long it takes to make them, how writers are compensated, and how writers can make a career out of it. And so it doesn't turn into a job gig that people aren't sure if they could stay in the profession. So it's necessary. I hope the two sides can experience some movement, both, in a positive direction, and get back to the table and end it.
So as far as writing in the Cobra Kai series, how integral are writers to the show itself? I know a lot of people think, oh, you kind of maybe write ahead of time and then you go shoot it. Like, what is that process like for Cobra Kai?
We're writing constantly on Cobra Kai. I mean, we have an initial script that, either we will write or somebody in our writer's room will write. That script goes through multiple drafts before production, during pre-production of any given episode, while you're making an episode and you're rehearsing and you're seeing things on the day. You might change something significantly that not only change something for that scene, but will change something and have a ripple effect through other scripts. So it's crucial for a highly serialized show like ours to have writers, not just in a writer's room period, but through production to be able to track these changes, pitch fixes. Sometimes you lose a location, you have an actor who gets sick, who can't be part of the show anymore, and the show needs to still continue on and make sense. And without a writer there, you really are just beholden to this script that no longer matches the situation. So, I mean, that's kind of what the reality of making a serialized show is now versus making a traditional broadcast sitcom, where it was more, here are 3 sets, here are 5 actors, here is the situation of the week. And, your final script might have joke changes, dialogue changes, but not massive changes that carry over into the next episode. It's kind of like you're writing an ongoing movie that is happening in real time. So the writing is and has always been a crucial element.
Wow. Yeah. Let me just say, like, Josh Heald, he is so nice. I have a feeling that if you got into like a business negotiation with Josh Heald, he would be a very effective and potentially intimidating negotiator. He just knows his stuff. Like he's just no nonsense, I think. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, he's very well spoken, very knowledgeable. He is I would say, in terms of social media activity, the quietest of the big 3, but definitely still just as integral and smart, and always great hearing what he has to say. He actually did you see his Instagram live that he did recently?
I did.
You saw that, right? That was interesting, right?
That was fascinating. That was really good. That was a really good interview, I thought.
Yeah, I actually screen recorded like as much as I could of that just to have it. I don't know if it's still up. I'm not sure. I don't know what platform it was on. We could I don't know if people want to check it out, I don't know where they could check it out, but that was really cool too.
If I remember right, it was the Wilshire Boulevard Temple and on Instagram.
Good memory.
Yes. So check that out. I mentioned it to him. I was like, hey, I saw you. Yeah, I saw your interview. And he's like, yeah, it was fun. So, but he
Yeah.
talked. Yeah, it was a great interview.
Yeah, and I have to say, Ken, great questions. Great questions.
Oh, thanks.
Of course. I really hope, like, I'm so glad that all of you are here watching this stream. I really hope that, like, this is the video that people need to watch, because you know, you still have those comments, like, rightfully so. There's a lot of general Cobra Kai fans out there who just don't keep up with everything, which is understandable. And they're just joining now. What's going on with Cobra Kai season 6? They're laying it out right here. Great questions to evoke great responses that really just clarify a lot of the speculation. It's pretty cool, Ken, that, like, I mean, you and I, we've been speculating based on tweets and little things, and you know, we've been saying, like, oh, like, if only we could just hear from them, if only we could talk to them, and here you are, like, you know, getting to talk to them and really get clarification. And what's pretty cool is, you know, we a lot of the things they're talking about are things that we've been mentioning. So none of this is coming as a shocker to us, or at least if you guys have been following us. So yeah, continue to follow us for all the right information. No, I'm kidding. But it is cool to, yeah.
I was just going to chime and say, absolutely follow us, guys. If you're watching us right now, no matter what platform you are, you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit subscribe, the like, notification bell, and you get stuff like this when it comes out. And so definitely do that. Anyway, I just want to throw that out there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Subscribe, leave a like, share, all that stuff. And yeah, really, really cool that I mean, from the sources themselves, like, and like, you know, I hope that articles come out saying Ken Cole got this. I mean, got this deadline. What's going on with Cobra Kai season 6? Well, Ken Cole interviewed the writers directly, and they said this. So there you go. Hopefully that happens.
Well, and I'll just say, I really appreciate Josh and Jon and Hayden and everyone. You know, we'll see Thomas and Mary and then Alicia, but I really appreciate them talking to me, because, you know, we're having conversations. I think as followers and fans of the series, we have kind of a unique, detailed set of questions that might be different than just like some general journalist, you know, who's covering the industry. And I am just so thankful that they were so, as you said, honest and forthright and detailed in their responses. And they kept on giving more information, and it made me think of new questions. And so I'm hoping that by the end of this video, 95% of everything you had questions about is solved.
Great. And yeah. I have a fun question for you.
Okay.
So I'm curious. These are the guys that write Cobra Kai. So all of the stories that we love, all the dialogue that we love comes from them. I'm curious, when speaking to them, because you spoke to them for a while, and I know you mentioned that you had a long conversation with Hayden too. Could you tell at certain points, oh yeah, these guys definitely write Cobra Kai? Like, that's something Johnny would say, or that's something like, did you ever get that at all? That impression?
You know, that's a brilliant question, Drew. I don't know. I think I had a long heart-to-heart with Hayden about Terry Silver, because they're all fans of Terry Silver, but Hayden is like a super fan of Terry Silver. And so I could see, you know, and Hayden said, he has said before how he hopes to emulate Terry Silver in his own life, you know, half jokingly. You know, Terry's model of success, right? And so I can definitely, I could definitely see the love for Terry and all that. I have to say something though, like, I don't know if I could put it, like, there's something about all of them coming together, I think, that creates something amazing. Like, they all have very, and you've pointed out, very distinct, you know, personalities. They're all very intelligent. And I don't think I think their personalities are very different than the characters in the show. So I think they're just that good of writers.
Yeah, definitely. I remember talking to Hayden, and I just remember a couple things he said to me. I was like, oh my god, he's literally quoting Johnny Lawrence. Like even though even though it wasn't a Johnny line, it was like, oh, that could have easily been something you write for Johnny. So it's funny.
That's cool. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's they're great. They're great.
Yeah, Josh is awesome too. Really, really, really nice. And I'm very curious to hear what else he has to say.
Indeed. Yeah, and he was there with his family too, I think.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, that's pretty cool. Everyone's come out to strike. So all right, let's see what he says.
Now people have talked about AI. It's exploded over the past 6 months. How much of a threat do you think that is to the profession of writing?
I see AI as a interesting tool that both the writers can use, the studios can use, but it's a tool. It's something that can be suggestive. It's something that might suggest a marketing plan for how to launch a season. It's something that might suggest a storyline or an idea or a genesis of something to look at AI and say, this is how we are going to tell stories, really doesn't make any kind of sense. I'll use one of my own movies as an example, A Hot Tub Time Machine. I don't think AI would necessarily just come up with Hot Tub Time Machine. I think if you asked AI now to write a Josh Heald style feature film, it would take elements of that because AI has to pull from somewhere. But unless people want just derivative material that is regurgitated type of content based on everything that's come before and nothing absolutely brand new, then I would say you need writers. You need the genesis of an original idea. And I don't think AI is showing an original idea. I think it's showing the ability to mimic what is out there based on material that's available. And it's always more beautiful to bring something to life than to create something in a lab.
Absolutely.
I do have to say, my first question is, I noticed like there's a lot of honking. Like, did you what was like the choice for inserting those sound effects into the video?
Well, yes, it was. I thought about it very deeply, and I spent hours finding the right horn sounds to put specifically at the right places.
Yeah.
Thank you for noticing. I really appreciate it.
I think it really adds the atmosphere. So like props off. Like, I mean, it must have been a lot of work editing these interviews, but to add the honking to
yeah. I think I spent about 5 hours editing the interviews and about 8 hours putting in the honking. It's no, I know it's like that. It's just like, oh geez, it's like, it's great, because people are voicing their support from their cars, but yeah, sometimes it's hard to hear, but
still easy to hear. Still very good stuff.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Drew. Now he's talking about AI, which we'll go ahead and plug our Tuesday live stream where we're going to have AI actually maybe write season 6. We'll see how it does.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
But yeah, was anything you noticed here about his answer on AI that was new or surprising?
I think he summed it up perfectly, like with what we said. It's like, I do like what he said about like, he didn't just say, oh no, like screw AI, whatever. He said it can be used as a tool. It can help because technology is evolving and growing, but to just replace humans with these robots, it's not the way to go. And I think there's a balance there that that Josh is talking about. So hopefully the studios listen to this man.
I hope so too. Yeah, and I agree with him. It's better to have humans coming up with the ideas, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now we know that season 6 is coming, and there may be a bit of a wait. What would you say to fans as far as like maybe a tease for season 6?
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of karate. It's gonna be a lot of kicking and punching. All the things you love. I mean, anything you love about Cobra Kai is going to be in season 6, any storyline you're hoping to see resolved will most likely be resolved in a way that is satisfying and thrilling, and there's going to be a lot more surprises to come along the way as well. You know, the first season was our most important season in terms of recreating the Karate Kid universe, creating the language of what the Cobra Kai universe is. The last season for any given series is equally important. You have to bring this large jumbo jet in for a landing that, you know, there's other landings to look at in terms of, you know, how shows end and how they go out. This one has to make sense for this universe, but it also has to be original as well. And it's going to be a really fun experience making it. It's going to be an even more fun experience watching it with everybody when it comes out. And I just can't wait to get out of, you know, this strike and have a fair deal so we can get back to the writers' room and keep writing it.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you, Josh, so much for joining me today on the picket lines in front of Fox Studios. We hope that an agreement can be reached as soon as possible.
Thanks, Ken. Strike hard.
So I thought it was very fascinating that, you know, he was talking about how important, you know, obviously he's hyping season 6. It's going to be amazing, but how important season 1 was, but how important it's like bringing in a jumbo jet for a landing. It's equally important to have a great final season. So I think it's putting a, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's like extra pressure or something, but he's just talking about how important it is that season 6 is the last season and they have to land this plane.
I will say, as much as I hate to say it, 100% there is pressure. 100%. Right. I feel like for them, they're not feeling the pressure as much because they're fans. They know they're going to they know the story they want to tell. They know they're going to write something good. And I think we're all confident, but like, not that there's any doubt that it's not going to be good. It's going to be amazing, but there is still pressure for it to be amazing in the sense that I've always said this isn't an original story. If this was, you know, like a random series that they created, let's say like Obliterated. I don't want to use Obliterated because I do think Obliterated will be amazing. Let's say they create a random series, and seasons 1 through 5 are amazing, and then season 6 doesn't stick the landing. It's like, oh man, well that sucked. Like that season was weird. That season was bad. Okay, but with this show, they are continuing a franchise that began almost 40 years ago, and they made the decision to bring this franchise back to life in the form of a series and bring these characters back. And I always said that you cannot bring this series back without a purpose. What was the purpose of bringing this show back? And a lot of people could say it's the redemption of Johnny Lawrence, it's the redemption of Daniel Russo or John Kreese. I don't know. But we really don't know the purpose until it all resolves. Because let's say season 6 ends and Johnny's a deadbeat drunk again. I mean, it's not going to happen. But let's say, then it's like, what was the purpose of this whole thing? But if Johnny gets married and develops a family, which it looks like it's going to that, then yes, we could see there was really a purpose for bringing this show back. So that's the biggest question for me is like, or like there is pressure to deliver a final season because you know there's going to be fans that are like, you're telling me we waited 5 years for this? Like you're going to have those fans that will say that. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I don't think it will. I think they're going to deliver, but there is pressure. So that's my little spiel.
Oh yeah, Drew, 100%. Because remember, I don't know what you thought about this, but remember Game of Thrones.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
And that show was just, it came so strong out of the gate, had such a big following. And that last season for a lot of people, season 8, I think, really, I guess in Josh's metaphor, that jumbo jet just crashed. Like they didn't really even bring that down. And for a lot of people, that last season faltering kind of ruined the show.
It ruined the whole, like, yeah, people will go back and be like screw the whole thing. Yeah.
Right. And so I think they know that, and just conversations I had with everyone, it's like they understand, like they get it, like they're very smart, like they understand all these things. And yeah, I don't know, like with Game of Thrones, I don't know why that happened. I heard stories that maybe the showrunners kind of wanted to just end it, that HBO wanted it to keep going, but they wanted to sort of end it and get out of it, because I think they were going to go work on Star Wars movies or something like that. And maybe you can kind of see that. You can maybe see that they were just trying to finish it. And maybe that's why everyone got, a little whatever, they didn't really care how the plane landed, just as long as it was on the ground and stopped somehow. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool hearing Josh talk so excitedly about the last season of Cobra Kai.
Yeah, you know what it made me think of, when Kreese died in the beginning of the season 5 finale.
Right.
It was that point where I was so upset. And not that I didn't think like he should die or like whatever, but with how the story was progressing, seasons 1 through 5, with what they set up, they did not set up that death. It was even though he didn't die, I'm just saying if he did die right then and there, it was quick, it was sudden, it was not an appropriate death for his character, because he still had things to resolve. The biggest thing for me is like, he has to make amends with Johnny. And if he had done that, then okay, sure, he could send him out right then and there. But like that would be a situation where if they were to do that sort of death in season 6, it would be like, what the hell? Because then you go back and you watch Kreese's story and it doesn't lead to a good ending or a satisfying ending. So I mean, you best believe it. I was freaking ecstatic when he jumped out of that chair, and when he when he walked out of that prison, I was like, "Yeah, boy, let's go!" So, yeah,
yeah. I was about to say, if anyone out there has not yet seen Drew's live reaction to Kreese's death, check out that video. You just posted that, Drew, recently. It's a must watch. That is like an all-time amazing reaction.
Oh my god, it was like I literally went through all the stages of like grief. It was probably one of the most surprising moments of my life. Like I was like, when Kreese was crying, I was like, oh my god, he's crying, and then he gets sayonara sensei gets stabbed. I'm like, I was mind blown. Anyway, I digress.
But yes, you're right. But you see, it's like they understand. They know that wouldn't have been satisfying.
Yes,
so
yes.
I think bringing it back to Game of Thrones again, I think season 8 was basically Kreese's death scene, and then it was over. Like, I think that's why everyone was so upset. But
that was the only scene in like Cobra Kai that actually, like, now that he's alive, I'm fine. But that scene actually pissed me off. I was so upset with the show in that moment. I couldn't really enjoy I did enjoy the finale, but I was like, I always had in the back of my mind, like every time they like cut to something, I'm like, did they really just kill off Kreese like that? So
yeah. That's amazing. Everyone check that out. That is on Cobra Kai Kids channel. Go over there after the stream and do yourself a favor and watch that reaction. That's amazing. Okay, let's see what's next. I think this is the end of this one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a huge surprise for you today, a huge surprise for me, is being able to talk to Thomas Ian Griffith and Mary Page Keller. Amazing. I can't believe the talent that I'm in the middle of right now. This is absolutely incredible. It's great to have you here. And I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk directly to fans about what's happening today and why this is important. If you enjoy watching scripted entertainment, why is this important?
It's an important time in our industry. a change is necessary. It's not that we want to do this. We all want to be either writing or actors doing the show. It's something that it's a necessity right now to get fair wages, especially for the mid-level writers, to help them learn to be able to go up on set and grow as producers. These are all things that just will make the shows we watch that much better. So that's what we're really fighting. And hopefully it'll be resolved soon, then we'll get a better deal.
Yeah, and for the writers, the creatives, just across the board, it's kind of existential. There's not a single aspect of this industry that isn't dreamed of and born out of a storytelling, because of love for storytelling, and that just needs to be respected and honored. So it feels like it's time to.
That now's the time to support artists, to really embrace them, because that's the unifying force. That's the beauty of what we do. On their television or movies or music or whatever it is, it brings people together. It's like right now, let's not try to cheapen that. Let's embrace them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad I get to speak to both of you because you're both such talented actors as well as writers. And how important is great writing for great acting?
Essential.
Yeah.
It's we're in all that. We've been actors, our whole adult lives, and we've been writers for the last 15, 20 years. And it's like, it's the most important step of the process for us, because that's where your imagination runs free. You create these characters, and then when the actors come and bring it to life, and the whole crew and set designers and directors, is so collaborative. It's such a beautiful art form.
And it begins on the page. It begins on the page.
You have to have that great blueprint.
What is your hope going forward? And I don't know if you're able to talk, because I know SAG just authorized the strike vote. Just the moment we're in right now, and and Thomas, you mentioned this is the moment to support artists. What does this mean in terms of, even people talk about AI, artificial intelligence, and how that could impact art?
We're not trying to stop AI. We're just trying to make sure it's used in the right way in terms of creating content or protecting actors. That's why we have such incredible support out here today, and at all the studios we've been to, that the actors are really uniting the writers. Because I think as a force, as an entity, we'll have the power to make it the proper change.
Absolutely. And so tell us a little bit about, so collectively we're working on at least 2 projects right now. Virgin River, which I know fans really are going to be interested in checking out, and then also a tease on Cobra Kai season 6.
All right. Well, we brought on season 5 that they just announced on Netflix that will be coming out in the fall. After we came on Virgin River, we were part of a great writing team for that, and we were
just starting the room for season 6, and we were just. We just got a few scripts done, and we're really hoping to go back soon. We have what we really feel like is going to be a great season.
But yeah, it's going to be a really season 5. I think you'll love. Season 6 is going to be great. As far as Cobra Kai, I'm trying to get some info out of these guys. They're all here.
I know. They're all very tight-lipped.
What's going on?
You don't know.
Is there a place for Terry Silver in that world?
Come on.
There's a large contingent of fans that are very much want to #save Silver.
I love it.
We're on Terry's side.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I just have to say to the fans, it's been such a blessing to come back to acting with that role. It was full circle. The first movie role I ever did, 29 years old. So it's just been a joy, and the fans are literally the best in the world. They're just incredible.
No doubt.
Thank you all. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Number 1 fan. The best. The best.
That is an honor. That is an honor. Thank you so much, guys. Right. Yes, best of luck.
Ken!
Wow, that was incredible. How wonderful. Just, to be acknowledged as a fan, Terry Silver fan, by Thomas Ian Griffith and Mary Page Keller. That's incredible. All right, everyone. I am here with Hayden Schlossberg, co-creator of Cobra Kai.
Anyway, so yeah, I guess we should pause it for a second. But yeah, there you go. Thomas Ian Griffith and Mary Page Keller.
My mouth hurts from smiling. That was so good.
You see how just cool they are? They're just so cool.
Yeah, and oh my god, when he it's so funny. The part that made me laugh. He was like, the way I love how he says Cobra Kai. Well, he said it like,
Right.
he's like, oh yeah, I want to get back to Cobra Kai. I love how he says
Right.
I love how he says that. Oh, so that was cool. Oh my god, they're both so nice. I'm glad they gave you that credit. That was awesome. That was great. That was great. What was that like for you?
It was I don't know, it was it was really interesting. It was an amazing experience. I like, it's one of those where I had to mentally check, it's like, hey, is this really happening? And and just, oh, okay, is the camera right? And then it's just like making sure that it's great. And it was just so, they're warm, so talented, and it was an amazing moment. And right, it's like you didn't have to say that, but it's like they did, and they thanked me, and they thanked all the fans out there, and it was great.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm sorry. Can you just play the part where he just says Cobra Kai just really quick?
Yeah, let's see.
I just like that I just love that. It's probably my favorite part. It's just
Yeah.
Well, I just have to say to the fans,
Wait.
I think it was like right after you asked the question. He's like, oh well.
but yeah, it's going to be a really season 5. I think you'll love. Season 6 is going to be great. As far as Cobra Kai, I'm trying to get some info out of these guys. They're all here.
I know. They're all very tight-lipped.
What's so not?
You don't know.
Is there a place for Terry Silver in that world?
Come on.
Like, yeah, he's in it. I like how it's funny how none of them, like, what do you think about, like, it's really weird how none of them, they're making it like this big secret of like if he's like even in the season or not. Like Kreese, even though Kreese went to jail, we knew he was going to be in season 5. So why do you think they're making it such a big secret? Like Thomas is like, I don't know if I'm in it, and Alicia, I don't know if he's in it, and John, Josh, and like, why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't know. I've noticed that, I could be wrong about this, but my sense from previous seasons is that Thomas Ian Griffith is never the first to spill the beans. I think he's just naturally secretive about, what's coming. So, it could be that, I don't know. Maybe he was told that. Maybe we don't know. He's in jail. There's mystery there, so we don't quite know. Although we can see that he has been growing his hair out. So, his hair just comes and goes at different lengths. And now it's longer. It could be ponytail length, right?
Yeah.
So that's the sign a lot of fans are looking for. So maybe that's all. Maybe that's all we need. To me, it's the gleam in the eye of a man who knows something good is coming regarding Terry Silver. That's just my personal interpretation.
Definitely. I think she even knows. She's like, come on, you're in it.
Yeah, right.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's and then we'll see.
Oh,
Hayden
there he is.
He's another showrunner and a great fan of Terry Silver.
Hayden Schlossberg, co-creator of Cobra Kai, genius. I think all you guys are fans of Terry Silver, but Hayden is a special fan. So we have a kinship here amongst you, all you Terry Silver fans out there. So Hayden, let's talk about Cobra Kai season 6.
Right. What do you want to know? I'm not like the other guys.
Okay, all right. So
ask away.
Okay, very good. So does Terry Silver get out of jail? That's okay. He doesn't have to answer that.
Do you want me to answer that?
I kind of don't.
Then I won't.
Yeah, but you've seen the movement to save Silver.
I have. Yes.
Okay.
I've seen the Save Silver campaign.
Okay.
I am 100%. I'm a huge Terry Silver fan, so I don't want him personally to be like left in oblivion.
Sure.
I want him to wreak, whether you call it havoc or whatever you'd want to call it. So
great leadership.
Yeah, havoc or leadership or, is he a mentor? Is he a monster? I don't know.
Right.
I actually do know. But it's, it's a big last episode. And, but we also have a final season. So anything is possible.
That's great. Well, as far as season 6, what's the status? Like, what has happened? We have this writer's strike here that's impacted everything, and we saw the news that production's been shut down. So can you give everyone kind of a status update with Cobra Kai season 6?
Yeah, it's just been delayed like every other show right now. You know, it was weird. Our first day of shooting was like the day the strike was going to be determined. So we knew going into it that was a possibility, but it was only a possibility. So we had to be ready to shoot, the whole season. Now we don't have all the episodes. When we start a season, we don't have all the episodes written. Usually we have a few episodes that are finished, a few episodes that are kind of in an in-between stage, and then a few that haven't been started yet.
Wow.
And that's kind of where we were at. And it's weird to go full steam ahead ready, but then having to hit the brakes right away. But, we were prepared for both possibilities. So, we'll take advantage of the break and, look at it with fresh eyes and try to have it, turn lemons into lemonade with it. But the only frustrating thing is we want to be shooting it. Fans want to see it. We want to see it. So, there's a delay as a result of that, but you didn't know when it was coming out anyway.
Right.
So you don't know, whether it's going to be a delay or not really. So don't even worry about that.
I gotcha. Well, so, and just so we know, I know there's been a lot of talk about when seasons are released. Is that something ahead of time when you're going into shooting a season, or is that determined later by the distributor like Netflix?
It varies sometimes, and sometimes there's outside forces that change plans. We've had situations where, you're thinking it's going to be a certain release date and then it changes. So, we had an idea of how the final season was, there was talk about that, but we also knew that could change. And, now with the strike, things are kind of up in the air. But listen, it's one of Netflix's big shows, and we've already, kind of gotten into the writer's room on it, so it will happen. It's just let's just cross our fingers that the strike goes by quickly, and that there's a good deal for writers so that we can get back to work.
Right. Okay, so I'll pause it there because there are some nuggets in there.
Yeah.
What did you think? So the first thing that really hit me was, he kind of goes into a little more detail about like the state of the scripts, like as they're going into production. And he says that there are a few that are pretty solid, a few that are kind of in the middle, and then a few that are really, really like rough. And so that's a new detail.
That's a very big thing that I think we learned that John earlier in the stream was talking about how several scripts have been outlined, several scripts have been finished, which line up with what Hayden was saying. So at first when John said several scripts were outlined, several scripts were scripted, I kind of thought he meant like maybe like that was the same thing. Mm-hmm. He was just talking about the same scripts, but now I think he really meant like we have several finished scripts, we have several sort of outline scripts, and we have several scripts like in the air, where like they probably have the whole outline of the season, but when they're on set, they are filming for a couple months. Usually it's about like 4 months, so they probably are writing those later episodes over Zoom, which is what I think Hayden made a post mentioning about, like doing Zooms with the writers. Mm-hmm. Now, to me, because there is a lot of question about like, is season 6 going to be a longer season? Are we going to have more episodes? Is it going to be a longer runtime? I'm kind of feeling like everything seems to be like the way they're describing it seems to be like the normal. This is the norm. Mm-hmm. So even if we do have like longer episodes in length, I'm kind of thinking it's still going to be that 10 episode format. That's kind of what he described. That it just kind of seems like he was describing it as the normal. Like what are you getting from all this?
Yeah, like, he does talk about like we've got a few scripts that are ready, a few scripts that are in the middle, and a few, it's like it definitely sounds like 9 or 10 scripts as opposed to like 13 or 14. Mm-hmm. And then of course we could have longer episodes. But I don't know. It's interesting what John had said before too. Maybe they were thinking they were going to shoot more elaborate, longer episodes. But, you know, if they forced the production to keep going and they would have needed to go back and do reshoots that cost money, you know, maybe that would have interfered with like how long these episodes could be, you know, just because they wouldn't have the budget to do the extra stuff that they were planning on doing. I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was real. You're right. To me, it does feel like he's talking about a 10 episode format. And yeah, that's the one question I didn't ask was how many episodes is it going to be? And is it going to be longer? But, you know, who knows? If it's a long strike, maybe we can ask some more questions. I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was very fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if there is anybody you want to ask that question to,
it's Hayden.
It's Hayden. Hayden's the man. Like, I love how, like, usually it's the interviewer who says, "Oh, I can't talk about that." But it's the interviewee who says, "I can't talk about that." But I love how in this case it was you, the interviewer, who's like, "Oh no, please don't say what's gonna happen in season 6." He's like, "Oh, but I want to. I will. I will tell you right now." And honestly, like, it's just funny. It's just so funny.
It is interesting. I wonder if he would have said. Yeah, he said he was going to say. But here's the thing. I know some of you are very angry right now that I stopped him. And you want to hear what the answer is. I don't know. I saw some comments that are like, "Hey, I wish I could have." But here's the thing, guys. I just felt like the universe isn't ready yet. Like they're not even shooting it yet. Like it's way early. So I just felt like we need to preserve that. Of course, he could have been fooling too. He might have, even if he answered it, it might have been some kind of ambiguous answer. I don't know because I was too chicken to let him continue. But
no, I actually have a lot of respect for you for you know not allowing him to answer that question. And I think it just goes to show you want to be surprised as a fan. And look, if someone else wants to interview him and ask that question, they will. But you didn't want to know that, so it's perfectly cool. And yeah, let's wait for that big, like, maybe there's like a trailer, a Terry Silver in jail trailer that like, man can't stand.
Like another From the Back, only there are bars in front of them.
There's bars. It's like the same trailer. It's like man can't stand, he can't fight, and it's like lunchtime boys.
He's got like a ponytail, but he's in like a jumpsuit. He's in a prison jumpsuit. He's standing there.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I will say though, if Terry's in jail, it would be fascinating. Like you saw how Kreese started manipulating the prisoners.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to see how Terry would manipulate them. Like it would probably be a different type of manipulation, but I bet he'd have them all eating out of his hand very quickly.
Oh, definitely. 100%.
Right. But
mind games.
Right. I have a feeling though, he's got so much money and influence. I don't think he would be in jail very long. That's just my opinion. You know, that I'll hold for now because I didn't have Hayden answer for sure. Okay, let's continue.
Now you're obviously a writer yourself. You're a director. You're a producer. You've seen all of these. You oversee all of these elements coming together. You're a showrunner. Actually, you can tell people, what is a showrunner? What does that do? What does a showrunner do?
I feel like it's kind of like being it's like in movie terms, it's like being the director in the sense that you're involved with all the departments for all the episodes. Like each episode has a director that's focused on directing that episode. And I feel like the showrunner's job is to kind of almost be the director, the macro director of all episodes. But that's like, that goes with the production, but that also goes with the writer's room. So like, we're sort of overseeing the writer's room, we're overseeing the production, and then when it comes to post, it's really the editors, who are doing the nitty gritty, but we're overseeing all that stuff.
I gotcha. And so all of those elements that you oversee, how?
Oh, let me stop there as well. Mm-hmm. So that's what you were talking about before, Drew, when you were talking about the showrunner. And I think that's important for everyone to know. And that's probably the reason why they were kind of stopped from going to the set, because they're doing constantly, they're writing, they have complete total control creatively over what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. That was what we were talking about. And you can even see Josh Shield in the back over there.
Yep.
And some pretzels. Their job is very important to the show. And to not have them there, as he says, they oversee everything. To not have them there. And also, it's not even the fact of like everyone else. It's not that everyone else is incapable, but when you have a show that has established 5 seasons of a certain pattern of work, and then you come into a new season and now you're missing like such an integral part of that show, there's a little, there might be some chaos, there might be some things might be a little disjointed, and we don't know what set was like. We may never know exactly, but we have had some ideas based off of John's comments and Hayden's comments and Josh. It wasn't the most ideal situation. I am very curious, like, to get more on like that. Like, I'm very curious about that first episode, but
Right.
great explanation from Hayden here about what a showrunner is. Very important to the show.
Indeed. And I'll circle back for a second because he also addressed the question of like, do they know when the release date is going to be? And so he says it varies and stuff. And he did say it's up in the air. So it sounds like there's no hard release date for season 6 right now.
Yeah, there we go. No one knows the date.
Indeed.
So
and thank you, Jaws. Really, that's
a
awesome.
man can stand, can fight.
Appreciate that. Thank you. All right.
Important is writing to that.
Not really important.
What was the
it's
question?
kind of like
Let me back up here.
No, all good.
there's, who are doing the nitty gritty, but we're overseeing all that stuff.
I gotcha. And so all of those elements that you oversee, how important is writing to that?
Not really important. It's kind of like, a formality. Let's just say, you could just no. It's for us. I was shocked. Like going into this industry, I always just felt writers were the most important thing because the things that when I fell in love with movies and TV shows, I was always obsessed with who came up with this. Where does this come from? Whose brain did it come from? And John and I, when we were friends, we bonded over the fact that we knew, like, the Zucker brothers. And
Yes.
Zucker brothers directed Airplane and Naked Gun, but they also wrote Airplane and Naked Gun.
Right.
It wasn't just, we became directors not because we felt, they're the auteurs of art, but because we felt that, we didn't want to write something and then hand it off to somebody. We're control freaks, so we wanted to be there every step of the way. But as far as I'm concerned, especially when it comes to comedy, the writer is so crucial and important. It begins and ends there. And not to take, any credit away from directors and actors. I, direct. You can't do it without everyone. It's a collaborative medium. But all the other people have something to start with. They have a script. Writers don't have anything. There's a blank page. It's the most creative part of the process. That's what I love about it. It's also the most challenging part. That's why we deserve the most money.
That's great. Well,
I love how you edit the close-ups.
There you go. It's very I see. It's like a new version of that answer, but I think it's great, and I loved how he brought up the Zucker brothers. Obviously, I love those movies and stuff like that, but he's right. I mean, the writers are the ones who are dreaming this stuff up. Everyone else has something to go on already, except the writers. It's just a blank page.
Yeah, I really love that answer. Even how he said something that even I was able to relate to, where he said, growing up, he thought writers were the most important part. And I would have never imagined that the writers of Cobra Kai and all these amazing shows aren't getting what they deserve and are being treated. They're not I'm trying to think of the word. They're not getting exactly what they deserve. And there's conversations about replacing them with technology, and it's nuts. And I would never think that. But this is the reality that we're in. And yeah, great answer there from Hayden.
It is, yes.
Hayden, thank you for joining me today here on the Picket Lines. Very cool to learn about all of this. As far as Cobra Kai season 6, you had previously teased that if every other
Had to crash the boss.
You saw.
Funniest thing, he literally like was walking, he looked, he walked away, and it's like he came back in. Oh,
yes.
God.
So everyone. All right, I'm going to play this again. Watch the center of the screen in the background, and you'll see the whole sequence.
Very cool to learn about all of this. As far as Cobra Kai season 6, you had previously teased that if every other
Had to crash the boss.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
See, he's an expert. He's an expert video bomber.
Oh my God. It literally, oh my God, it's like the third time. It's like the third video that he
the master.
Man.
Oh, amazing. Thomas, amazing. You're previously
He's clearly gotten out here. Like, so we'll see. Maybe that's a sign.
Wait, what? What?
So Drew, I think that's a vague hint. That could be a vague hint. Maybe.
What's going on? Why? I'm so okay. All right, Ken. Everybody in the chat, let's remember this question. I have a very important question that we need to remember this question so we could ask them at one point. Once like Silver is like officially announced and like things are going and whatever, and we know he's going to be in the season, we need to ask the writers, why was it so ambiguous? Right? Like, why is nobody like, because you could say, yeah, he's in it, but as for what his role is, you'll have to wait and see. But like, why is it so like he's growing out his hair? I mean, I feel like it's like I don't understand the big secret. He's already a part of this cast. So like would you say that's a fair question to ask one day?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe are you thinking just because it is ambiguous? Like, whereas the other characters we know they have to be in there. Like, do you feel like Terry Silver isn't a regular necessarily?
I do feel like he's a regular, which is really weird. As for why, like, Kreese is confirmed, Kim Da-eun, everybody's confirmed except for him. It's this big mystery, which I get he went to jail, but like, what they want to make it seem like he's gone for good when we all know he isn't. So I'm just curious. Like, I understand, like, okay, Terry Silver in season 4, he was brought in new, so they want to make that a surprise, but he's already been reoccurring. So like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I hear you. And that's possible. I feel like what Hayden just said here may be an extremely vague clue. So,
yeah. Can we play that again?
Yes. Play that again. And he's referencing the fact that he's referencing Thomas Ian Griffith. So
he's clearly gotten out here. Like, so we'll see. Maybe that's a sign.
Yeah.
I like how I like how it's like the most random thing. He's just trying to give some sort of hint, like
right.
That it's like he's like, well, he's here, so maybe that's a sign. Like, he's trying to, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes. He like Thomas Ian Griffith's made his way out here, so maybe that's a sign for something. Yeah. So take that as you will. Let us know what you think in the chat. What you think Hayden means by that incredibly cryptic comment.
It's funny because you told him not to answer like whether or not he's still in jail, but like he wanted to give an answer anyway.
Yeah,
he wanted to tease Silver, so he was like he did this regardless.
Right. So this could be, Drew. This could be your very first tease of Terry Silver, official tease. Maybe.
Bum, bum.
Yes. So we'll keep going. We'll see if he teases anything else. I can't quite remember.
Indeed. But you had previously said that if every other season of Cobra Kai were like a meal, season 6 is going to be like Thanksgiving,
Right.
like a Thanksgiving dinner. Is there another tease that you can give us to convey the magnitude of what we have to look forward to in season 6?
I'll just say, we felt you just feel like you could, each season we try to top ourselves. And the last season was friggin' crazy, So it's like, how do you top yourself without it becoming absolutely ridiculous? Well, I don't know. It may be absolutely ridiculous, but if we are going to top ourselves, it's going to be so... the Sekai Taikai is going to, play a role. And, it's just, it's going to have...
Okay, so I'll just pause it there.
Yeah.
That's something we heard in your live stream, right? That there were thoughts about the location for that. So, but this is like maybe the official confirmation that we're probably going to see that.
Yeah, I would definitely say official confirmation from Hayden. I don't think they've really... I mean, maybe they've mentioned it a couple times, but they're very vague about it. But I think like overall, like once we like find out what this season is about, I think the promotion will be the lead up to the world tournament, the Sekai Taikai. So pretty cool that he's mentioning this, like how it's just gonna get to this show's gonna get to a bigger scale. And we talked about the budget. Very important to have that budget, utilize the money so we can really create a big atmosphere. They're setting this up to be big. So I want to see something like that. I hope they deliver on it. And I think they will.
100%. And if they're short on money, which I know they won't be because they planned, I hope Netflix sees what they're doing and just dumps more money on them, because they go, this is amazing. We need this to be incredible. That's just my personal hope. Netflix will give them like twice the budget.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work, we'll make like a GoFundMe page for season 6, like the Sekai Taikai, like support the Sekai Taikai set.
I love it. It's great.
A lot of what I loved in the big sequels of the 80s, a lot of this like kind of big international feel, but mixed in with all the payoffs of stuff that we've set up over the years. So it should be very satisfying. We'll see if it gets made. But
that's great.
Yeah.
We know it will get made. We know it's going to be amazing. And Hayden Schlossberg, thank you so much for talking to me today. And best of luck. And we all hope that the deal can be reached as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Writers. Let's do it.
Thanks, Hayden.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Okay. And then I basically just do a wrap up at that point. But Drew.
Yeah.
There we go. Those are the interviews.
Oof. Wow.
We've been going 2.5 hours.
Oh my God. This is what happens when we go live. We just are not capable of going under 2.5 hours. It's just not possible. Like
No, not at all. But I mean, some amazing information in there, Drew. Like, I think this video has some new morsels that are confirmations, teases of things to come. We know now what the state of the scripts are, going into a season. Maybe we have a little idea of how many episodes there are going to be. I don't know, Drew. What else? I feel like there's a lot of information in here.
Yeah. I mean, we've really been diving into it. Once again, 2.5 hours of just talking about it all. I think, I don't know if there were some things that were like, oh wow, it's pretty big, but I think a lot of this is just like further confirmation on things that we've been speculating about, which is really nice to have some clarification and get some new teases. And I mean, that's all a credit to you. So shout out to you. Great interviews, great questions. And once again, congrats on those amazing opportunities. Really, really amazing.
Absolutely. And of course, I have to thank Jon Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, Josh Heald, as well as Thomas Ian Griffith, Mary Page Keller, and Alicia Hannah-Kim. They were so phenomenal and gracious and gave such detailed answers to these questions. I really appreciate that they welcomed me down there to answer your questions as fans.
Definitely. They were all incredible, super nice, and super great people to interview. So I'm glad you got to speak to them. And guys, definitely, if you watched the whole stream, thank you guys. We appreciate it, but go rewatch that footage. I am going to go rewatch that footage. I also want to see how you ended the streams or how you ended that video. So I'm going to go and watch that end after.
Okay.
So if you want to see all of that, check that out on Ken's channel. So, some really good stuff there. 37-minute video.
Yeah. Pretty incredible. I'll bring this up from your channel, Drew.
Great job here tonight, gentlemen. Good information. Thanks. Hope an agreement comes very soon. Thank you so much, Steve. Really, really appreciate that. And we're really glad you had a good time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And yeah, guys, so Tuesday, Drew, we're going to be doing writing season 6 with ChatGPT just to see how AI does, right? See if it's a threat.
Let's see if it's really a threat. I mean, technically, this is what the companies would be doing. So
right.
We'll see if we could come up with some. We'll see what they would come up with. And we'll see if who knows? Should be interesting. Should be very interesting.
It should be. Well, Drew, I want to thank you for joining me tonight. When we started this KenCast, you had fallen asleep, and I think it's best that I return you to your slumber now. And everyone out there, I know it's probably late, so we can all sleep and dream about Cobra Kai season 6.
Yes, and you can bet when there is some new news, I will wake up. I will always wake up for season 6 news. But this was a great stream. Thank you for doing this with me. Always love chatting with you about this. So, and also I love the KenCast intro. I gotta say, I love that intro.
Thank you.
Big fan of the intro.
Well, if you like that, we're going to have an amazingly chill outro. When we're
yes. Let's go. Get the music.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next time on Cobra Kai Kid and or Ken Cole. Have a good night.
Thank you for joining us tonight. And we look forward to seeing you next time on KenCast.